Welcome back to Woman's Secret Signals, the channel where we decode female psychology, hidden attraction signs, and the emotional secrets most men completely miss. Have you ever felt like a woman was trying to tell you something without actually saying it? The truth is, attraction is rarely spoken directly. It's hidden in her eye contact, her body language, her tone, and the emotional tension she creates around you. In today's video, you're about to discover 3 clear signs a woman wants intimacy with you, signals that reveal what she's truly feeling beneath the surface. And trust me, most men ignore these signs until it's too late. So if you want to understand women on a deeper level, build stronger attraction, and stop missing the signals right in front of you, make sure you watch until the end. Because once you understand female psychology, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Attraction is rarely random. In most cases, when a woman feels emotionally and physically drawn to a man, her body language begins to reveal it before her words ever do. One of the clearest signs a woman wants intimacy with you is simple. She constantly creates opportunities to be physically close. Now, this does not always mean obvious touching or direct flirting. Female psychology is often more subtle, emotional, and indirect. Many women test comfort, chemistry, and emotional safety before making their intentions obvious. That is why closeness becomes one of the earliest signals. Think about it carefully. Does she sit unusually close when there are other places available? Does she lean toward you during conversations even when she doesn't need to? Does she lightly touch your arm while laughing? Does she find excuses to stay near you longer than necessary? These behaviors matter because attraction changes physical behavior naturally. A woman who feels emotionally disconnected usually protects her personal space. But when she feels attraction and intimacy growing, her subconscious mind begins pulling her closer to the man she desires. She wants to feel your energy, your presence, and your attention. One powerful sign is repeated accidental touch. She may brush against you while walking. She may touch your shoulder during conversation. She may playfully hit your arm after a joke. These touches seem small, but psychologically they are very important. Touch is one of the strongest forms of emotional testing. Women often use light physical contact to measure your confidence, your reaction, your comfort level, the emotional chemistry between you. If she repeatedly initiates touch and seems relaxed doing it, that is rarely meaningless. Another major signal is prolonged eye contact combined with closeness. When a woman stands near you while maintaining deep eye contact, she is emotionally opening the interaction. Attraction is not only about physical desire, it is about emotional tension. Many men miss this because they expect women to communicate attraction directly. But female psychology often works through emotional hints rather than clear statements. A woman interested in intimacy may also mirror your movements subconsciously. If you lean in, she leans in. If you lower your voice, she lowers hers. This mirroring behavior is connected to emotional synchronization. Her mind is becoming emotionally aligned with yours. But here is something important. Confidence matters. If you become overly needy, desperate, or aggressive, the emotional tension disappears. Attraction grows strongest when a woman feels both excitement and emotional safety around you. That balance is crucial. A confident man understands the signals without forcing anything. He remains calm, emotionally grounded, and socially aware. Because the truth is, when a woman wants intimacy, she usually does not announce it directly. She slowly invites you into her personal space first. One of the strongest signs a woman wants intimacy with you is not always physical. It becomes emotional first. Female psychology is deeply connected to emotional connection. For many women, intimacy begins in the mind long before it becomes physical. That is why a woman who feels attracted to you will often start creating emotionally charged conversations that feel deeper, more personal, and more intense than normal interactions. At first, the conversations may seem casual, but slowly, she begins asking questions that reveal emotional curiosity. What's your biggest goal in life? Have you ever really loved someone? What kind of woman do you actually want? What's something most people don't know about you? These are not random questions. She is trying to understand your emotional world. She wants to feel closer to you psychologically. Women often develop intimacy by creating emotional depth before physical closeness fully happens. And here's the important part. When a woman likes you casually, she keeps conversations light. But when she desires emotional and physical intimacy, she starts wanting emotional access to your real personality. You'll notice she begins opening up too. She may share personal stories, childhood memories, fears, relationship experiences, or emotional struggles she normally hides from others. This vulnerability is extremely important in female psychology because women usually do not emotionally expose themselves to men they feel disconnected from. She wants to build emotional trust. Another major sign is emotional tension mixed with playful energy. For example, she teases you. She gives you challenging eye contact. She playfully disagrees with you just to keep the interaction emotionally exciting. She says things that create curiosity and tension instead of boring small talk. Why? Because attraction grows through emotional stimulation. Many men think attraction only comes from looks, but emotional tension is one of the biggest drivers of intimacy. A woman becomes emotionally attached when conversations make her feel excitement, curiosity, anticipation, and emotional chemistry. Pay attention to late night conversations too. If she consistently wants to talk late at night, especially about personal topics, emotions, relationships, or fantasies, that is often a strong indicator of emotional intimacy growing. Nighttime conversations naturally create a more emotionally open atmosphere, and women usually reserve that emotional energy for men they feel deeply comfortable with. You may also notice she remembers tiny details about you, your favorite food, something you mentioned weeks ago, a small personal story, your habits, your moods. This level of attention is emotional investment. A woman emotionally disconnected from you will not study your personality deeply, but a woman imagining intimacy with you becomes highly observant because emotionally invested women focus intensely on men they desire. And here's what makes this powerful. When emotional tension becomes strong enough, physical intimacy often feels natural rather than forced. That's why emotionally intelligent men usually attract women more easily. They understand that female attraction grows through emotional experience, not just physical appearance. The deeper the emotional connection becomes, the stronger the desire often grows underneath it. One of the clearest psychological signs a woman wants intimacy with you is when your attention begins affecting her emotions more than other people's attention does. This is where attraction becomes personal. A woman who is emotionally invested in you starts caring deeply about how you see her, how you react to her, and how much attention you give her. Your presence begins carrying emotional weight in her mind. You'll notice this in subtle ways first. She becomes more excited when you text her. She responds faster than usual. She keeps conversations going even when they should naturally end. She finds reasons to continue interacting with you. Why? Because emotional attachment creates emotional anticipation. When a woman desires intimacy, your validation starts becoming emotionally valuable to her. She wants your attention specifically, not just attention from anyone. This is an important difference many men misunderstand. Some women enjoy general attention socially, but when she wants intimacy with you, her behavior becomes targeted and emotionally focused around your reactions. For example, she may dress differently around you, seek compliments indirectly, notice your mood changes quickly, ask if you're upset with her, become extra playful when you seem distant, try harder to impress you emotionally. This happens because attraction activates emotional sensitivity. A woman who desires closeness often becomes highly aware of your approval. She wants to know if you notice her beauty, personality, intelligence, humor, or emotional energy. Another powerful sign is jealousy. Now, healthy attraction and toxic possessiveness are different things. But psychologically, when a woman begins imagining emotional or physical intimacy with a man, she naturally becomes more sensitive to competition. If she suddenly becomes curious about other women around you, asks subtle questions about your dating life, or reacts emotionally when you give attention elsewhere, that usually signals emotional investment. Why? Because emotionally attached people fear losing emotional access to someone they desire. You may also notice mood shifts depending on your behavior. When you give attention, she becomes warm, engaged, and energetic. When you pull back slightly, she suddenly becomes more invested, more curious, or more emotional. This emotional responsiveness is important because indifference rarely creates emotional intensity. Attraction does. Another strong sign is when she starts trying to create memorable moments with you. She sends songs, inside jokes, random selfies, personal updates about her day, funny videos, late night messages, small emotional check ins. These are emotional bonding behaviors. Women often build intimacy gradually through repeated emotional connection. Every small interaction strengthens familiarity, comfort, and emotional attachment. But here's where many men make mistakes. The moment they notice attraction, they become desperate for certainty. They chase too hard, overtext, overanalyze, and destroy the emotional tension that created attraction in the first place. Confidence is attractive because it feels emotionally stable. A woman feels safest opening herself emotionally and physically to a man who is calm, patient, emotionally aware, and socially intelligent, not needy or emotionally chaotic. Because true attraction is not built through pressure. It grows through emotional connection, emotional tension, and mutual desire developing naturally over time. One of the deepest signs a woman wants intimacy with you is when she slowly begins pulling you into the private side of her life. This is where attraction becomes more than flirting. Female psychology is strongly connected to emotional trust and emotional safety. When a woman starts imagining intimacy with a man, she naturally begins opening doors into parts of her life she normally protects from outsiders. And this shift is powerful. She may suddenly want more one on one time with you instead of group settings. She starts inviting you into quieter, more personal situations where emotional connection can grow naturally. For example, wanting long late night calls, inviting you to private conversations, asking you to spend time alone together, suggesting emotionally intimate activities, sharing moments when she feels vulnerable or emotional. Why does this matter? Because privacy creates emotional closeness. A woman who only sees you as casual entertainment usually keeps interactions public, surface level, and emotionally controlled. But when she desires deeper intimacy, she wants access to emotional moments that feel personal and real. Another strong sign is when she starts talking about the future in ways that subtly include you. It may sound small. You'd actually love this place. We should try that sometime. You remind me of the kind of guy who would. I feel really comfortable around you. These phrases reveal psychological inclusion. Her mind is beginning to picture your presence in her emotional world. Attraction naturally makes people mentally imagine future experiences together. You may also notice she becomes more relaxed around you physically and emotionally. She stops acting overly guarded. She becomes softer, more feminine, more emotionally expressive, more comfortable showing her natural personality. This comfort is important because intimacy requires emotional safety. A woman cannot fully open emotionally or physically if she feels judged, pressured, or emotionally unsafe. That is why emotionally intelligent men often create stronger attraction than men who only rely on appearance or aggressive flirting. Now, here's a signal many men overlook completely: silence. If a woman can sit quietly with you without feeling uncomfortable, that often shows emotional comfort and subconscious trust. Real connection is not always loud flirting or dramatic passion. Sometimes intimacy grows strongest in calm, emotional presence. Another powerful indicator is when she starts seeking your emotional protection. She comes to you when stressed, she wants your opinion. She trusts your advice. She shares emotional frustrations with you. Psychologically, women often become emotionally attached to men who make them feel emotionally understood and emotionally secure. And this creates something deeper than surface attraction. Because female desire is often connected to emotional experience, not just physical chemistry alone. That's why the strongest attraction usually happens when a woman feels safe with you, understood by you, emotionally connected to you, excited by you, comfortable being herself around you. When all of these emotions combine together, intimacy starts becoming natural in her mind, not forced, not rushed, not manipulated, natural. And that emotional comfort is often the bridge between attraction and real intimacy. The final and most important sign a woman wants intimacy with you is this: she starts giving you opportunities to move the connection forward. This is where many men either completely understand female psychology or completely miss it. A woman who feels attraction rarely wants to control every step directly. Instead, she often creates openings, signals, and emotional invitations for the man to confidently lead the interaction forward. This is a huge psychological difference. Many women want to feel desired, but they also want to feel emotionally safe and respected. So instead of openly saying exactly what they want, they often communicate through indirect encouragement. For example, she keeps extending conversations. She lingers before leaving. She creates excuses to spend more time with you. She responds positively when you flirt. She accepts physical closeness comfortably. She gives you sustained eye contact filled with emotional tension. These are not accidental behaviors, they are opportunities. A woman interested in intimacy often makes herself emotionally available while waiting to see if the man has the confidence and emotional intelligence to recognize the moment naturally. And confidence matters more than most men realize. Not arrogance, not pressure, not aggressive behavior, calm confidence. A man who understands attraction does not rush the process or beg for validation. He reads emotional energy, respects boundaries, and allows chemistry to develop naturally. This is what creates emotional safety. One powerful sign is when she becomes comfortable with romantic tension instead of avoiding it. For example, you flirt and she flirts back. You hold eye contact and she doesn't break it. You tease her and she becomes playful instead of distant. You create emotional tension and she leans into it rather than shutting down. That emotional participation is extremely important because attraction is mutual energy. A woman who does not want intimacy usually creates distance when romantic tension appears. But a woman who desires closeness often feeds the tension subtly because she enjoys the emotional excitement between you. Another major sign is availability. No matter how busy someone is, people make time for what emotionally excites them. If she consistently finds time to talk to you, see you, respond to you, or emotionally engage with you, that is usually emotional investment, especially when she could easily ignore or avoid the interaction. And here's the truth most men need to hear: women are often far more subtle than men when expressing attraction. That's why emotional awareness is powerful. The strongest men are not the loudest. They are not the most aggressive. They are not the most desperate for attention. The strongest men understand emotional timing, emotional tension, and emotional intelligence. Because real attraction is not built by forcing intimacy. It's built when emotional connection exists, trust exists, mutual desire exists, comfort exists, chemistry grows naturally. And when a woman truly wants intimacy with you, her behavior usually starts revealing it long before she ever says the words out loud. The key is learning how to recognize the signals without becoming needy, impatient, or emotionally reactive. That calm confidence is what makes attraction grow even stronger.